It's now October, so it's time to start digging into my 31 days of Halloween movie list, starting with Halloween is Grinch Night. It's an amazingly fun and trippy made-for-TV Halloween special from 1977. It's also a sequel to the animated How the Grinch Stole Christmas from the 60s. Bonus points to this one for actually being funny and how weird it gets. There's a part where the Grinch is trying his hardest to scare a little boy, and it's less like a haunted house and more like a DMT trip. Now, if you want to check it out, Halloween is Grinch Night is entirely free to watch on YouTube. Or if you're like me, you can pick up the How the Grinch Stole Christmas Blu-ray and it's on there too. Hello, it is day 2 of my 31 days of Halloween movie list, and today I'm talking about the Scary Godmother Halloween Spooktacular. Watching this again was like being wrapped in a nostalgic, spooky, weird Cartoon Network blanket. The old 3D animation can appear kind of cheap, but what's most impressive about it is how close it is to Jill Thompson's original books and comics. And it was successful enough that Cartoon Network made a sequel 2 years later, The Revenge of Jimmy. Go check Scary Godmother and its sequel out if you haven't already or need a nice trip down memory lane. Both are entirely free to watch on YouTube in 4K UHD quality. It is day 3 of my 31 days of Halloween movies list, and today is our first horror movie with Ghost Watch. It is a chilling British Halloween TV special and is one of the earliest found footage movies ever. And so when it was aired, the BBC received over 30,000 callers complaining that it was way too scary and way too real. The BBC actually had to ban Ghost Watch from airing on TV for at least 10 years afterwards. I highly recommend it. It has a perfect Halloween atmosphere and just really got under my skin. If you want to check out Ghost Watch, you can rent it on YouTube and a few other places. It is on AMC Plus, and I may or may not be dropping a link to it on the Internet Archive in the comments. It is day 4 of my 31 days of Halloween movies list, and today it is one of my favorite hidden gems, Pumpkin Moon. It is just the coziest Halloween special that's basically a silent movie all the way up until the ending that I cannot spoil. It jam-packs everything that you want in a Halloween special. Black cats, pumpkins, witches, spiders, skeletons, fog, bats, ghosts, even a damn scarecrow. So yeah, I highly recommend Pumpkin Moon. Its spooky season vibes are absolutely immaculate, and it is entirely free to watch on YouTube. It's day 5 of my 31 days of Halloween movies list, and today is Witches and Stitches. This is that weirdo, cheesy shit that I just love. It is just 20 minutes of fun, dumb Halloween nonsense. It being so crude is kind of part of its charm. There's a part where one of the witches is going back and forth on a rocking chair, and it just has me dying laughing because of how it's animated. I feel like the spooky season is the perfect time to watch a zany, silly cartoon like this. If you want to check out Witches and Stitches, it is entirely free to watch on YouTube. It is day 6 of my 31 days of Halloween movies list, and today is Over the Garden Wall. This year, 2024, is actually the 10th year anniversary of all 10 episodes airing on Cartoon Network back in 2014. I adored its beautiful, rustic, old-timey Americana aesthetic. It's like I could smell the dust and dead leaves coming through the screen, and I mean that in a good way. Sure, it's cute, it's funny, it's strange, but as the story goes along and the themes get darker, it becomes just as amazing for adults as it does for kids. Sit down this spooky season with a bowl of potatoes and molasses and watch Over the Garden Wall. You can buy all the episodes on Amazon or watch all of them on Hulu like I did. It's day 7 of my 31 days of Halloween movie list, and today is one of my favorite documentaries of all time, The American Scream. It follows 3 families from the same city and their obsession with Halloween and dedication to making their homes into haunted house attractions. And sure, they might be a little crazy, but you can't help but admire the enthusiasm they put into their art. It's a deeply profound film without trying to be, about the American dream and artistic integrity, hardship, and community love. Please go check out The American Scream if you haven't already. I saw it free with ads on YouTube, but it's also on Tubi, Plex, Amazon, and more. It is day 8 of my 31 days of Halloween movie list, and today is Creepshow. It is the perfect anthology horror movie with a script written entirely by Stephen King and directed by George Romero, who made Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. It's really campy and exaggerated, but that just makes it all the better because you never know what the hell's gonna happen next. My copy of Creepshow is actually signed by Tom Atkins, who plays the dad in the wraparound story, who you might know from Halloween 3 and Escape from New York. He wrote his quote in the movie, "That's why God made fathers." So please go check out Creepshow if you haven't already. It is the perfect horror movie for spooky season. It is available to rent on most streaming services, and I may or may not be dropping a free link to it on Internet Archive in the comments. It is day 9 of my 31 days of Halloween movie list, and today is Spookily the Square Pumpkin. It's a 2000s Halloween classic, back when you would just rewatch holiday movies all year because you had the DVD. Like, I was totally watching Halloween Town and Jim Carrey's The Grinch on DVD in July, I didn't care. Something funny about Spookily too is he has a Christmas special that came out 15 years later on Disney Junior. Bro has an Easter special that I just learned about this morning. Spookily is coming to snatch every single holiday on the calendar, he doesn't care. If you want to check out Spookily the Square Pumpkin, it is available to rent on most streaming platforms, or it is currently on Netflix. It is day 10 of my 31 days of Halloween movie list, and today is Universal's Frankenstein. Every October I love going back and watching classic horror movies, and I feel like Frankenstein has the perfect Halloween vibes. It's got spooky foggy cemeteries, a mad scientist with an experiment gone wrong, and an angry mob with pitchforks and torches. Boris Karloff's portrayal of Frankenstein's monster is just mesmerizing to watch. It's not terrifying, but its mood, atmosphere, and fact that it's almost 100 years old adds a lot to it. So yeah, check out Frankenstein if you haven't already. It is an essential horror movie and is available on Peacock or available to rent on pretty much any streaming service. It is day 11 of my 31 days of Halloween movie list, and today is The Halloween Tree. It is a classic 90s Halloween special produced by Hanna-Barbera, who did Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, The Jetsons, and pretty much everything you saw on Boomerang back in the day. It follows a group of kids as they go on a Halloween odyssey trying to save their best friend from death. The animation is gorgeous, the spooky vibes are immaculate, you actually get to learn a little bit about Halloween traditions, and the villain is played by Spock from Star Trek. What more could you ask for? Please check out The Halloween Tree if you haven't already. It is available to rent on YouTube and Amazon. It is day 12 of my 31 days of Halloween movie list, and today is the WNUF Halloween special. The whole movie presents itself as an 80s news broadcast that slowly goes wrong. Kinda like a found footage style horror movie. Watching it is like when you're a kid waiting for the school bus, so you're just watching the morning cable news. And I mean that in the most complimentary way possible. It's sort of like Late Night with the Devil or Ghost Watch, which I talked about earlier in October. But even funny fake commercials are included, or even the movie will fast forward like it's a real VHS tape. There's a lot of dedication. And on top of all that, it's an amazing Halloween special. Everybody's in costumes, they're investigating a haunted house, and there's constant talk of Satanism. So yeah, check out the WNUF Halloween special. It is available on Shudder or Blu-ray and DVD. It is day 13 of my 31 days of Halloween movie list, and today is Witches Night Out. This is a really fun, lighthearted, animated Halloween TV special that's full of ghouls, ghosts, goblins, and witches. Also, the watercolor fall backgrounds are so gorgeous, I'm just gonna show some of them to you. They just really pop, especially with the colorful ass characters. You even get some great voice acting from Saturday Night Live's Gilda Radner and a young Catherine O'Hara. And you can't forget the theme song, Halloween. Witch Magic Halloween. Please check out Witches Night Out if you haven't already. It is free on Fandango at Home/Voodoo. It's also free on YouTube, or I have the DVD copy that you can pick up as well. It is day 14 of my 31 days of Halloween movie list, and today is Ernest Scared Stupid. If you didn't know, Ernest was an 80s and 90s TV commercial character that became so popular they just gave him his own series of movies. Could you imagine if they made Jake from State Farm Goes to Africa? Still, Ernest Scared Stupid is spooky goofball fun. The sets are drenched in fog and dead leaves, and the plot involves goblins turning children into statues. Eartha Kitt is absolutely the reason to watch this though. She steals the show she totally understood the assignment and is just hamming it up. So yeah, watch Ernest Scared Stupid if you haven't already. It is currently free to watch with ads on YouTube. It is day 15 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is Mad Monster Party. It's a stop-motion animated TV special from Rankin Bass, who you're probably more familiar with their Christmas specials like Rudolph, and this is like their one mostly forgotten Halloween special that they did. But I way prefer this over those Christmas specials. It's super campy, it's oddly horny, and it has all the classic monsters in it like Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Dracula, even Creature from the Black Lagoon. Boris Karloff also lends his voice talents in one of his last screen roles ever. It fully embraces those fun, dumb, spooky Halloween vibes that I just adore. So yeah, check out Mad Monster Party if you haven't already. It is available to rent and stream on pretty much anything. It is day 16 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. This is just an awesome Halloween-y hangout movie with Scooby, Shag, and a fun weirdo group of ghoul girls. You know this one's spooky too because they made Shaggy's shirt blood red. Ghoul School is actually part of a trilogy including Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers and Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf. Ghoul School is the best in the trilogy though because it's got a strong female cast and it's like vibing at a Halloween party. So yeah, check out Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School if you haven't already. It is available to rent on most streaming services, but I may or may not be dropping a link to how to watch it for free on Dailymotion in the comments. It is day 17 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is Disney's Halloween Treat. Something I wanted to celebrate with my Halloween movie list this year was every single generation's Halloween movies and specials, so this was one suggested by my mom. It's basically just a compilation of spooky scenes from Disney's animated classics like Peter Pan, Fantasia, The Old Mill, and many more. Throw in some live action segments like one involving the magic mirror, and a creepy narrator to tie everything together, and it's a really good time. So yeah, check out Disney's Halloween Treat. It's perfect to throw on for this spooky season, and is entirely free to watch on YouTube. It is day 18 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is Hack-A-Lantern. This is my kind of shit, a sleazy, trashy 80s slasher set around Halloween. It's got nudity, it's got blood and gore, it's got Satanism, it's got pumpkins, and it's got foggy cemeteries. It's got everything that you'd want from a Halloween horror movie. You also get this campy, over-the-top performance of a lifetime from High Pike as this Lucifer-loving grandpa. And there's an 80s rock song dream sequence that happens in the middle of the movie that's both hilarious and catchy. You're the devil's son. So yeah, check out Hack-A-Lantern if you love So Bad It's Good movies as much as I do. It is entirely free to watch on Tubi. It is day 19 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. This is, without a doubt, the most classic Halloween special of all time. Which makes it even more of a shame how difficult this is to watch on streaming services. It is currently only on Apple TV+. However, October 19th and October 20th, they will be making the special entirely free to watch to the public. You still have to watch it on Apple TV+, but you don't need a subscription to watch it. It is day 20 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is the original It miniseries. I find myself watching this one almost every single October because of its fall atmosphere with the constant rain, the dead leaves, and it being a monster story. Tim Curry is incredibly fun to watch in his over-the-top performance as Pennywise. He's probably the reason this was one of my favorite horror movies as a kid, back when I had to flip the DVD to finish the movie. Now, it's not perfect, and it can lean into being a bit of a cheesy soap opera, but its fall vibes are immaculate. So yeah, check out the original It and enjoy the Tim Curry Pennywise performance. It is available on these streaming platforms. It is day 21 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is The Worst Witch. This Halloween special is pure camp, and it is so much fun. It embraces being silly, it embraces being over the top, and when you aren't laughing with it, you're laughing at it, like the bad green screen effects. Yesterday I talked about Tim Curry playing Pennywise. Today I'm talking about Tim Curry in this. He delivers the best Halloween song of all time. Has anybody seen my tambourine? By the end of it, you'll want to be a witch doing dumb shit too. Harry Potter is a farce compared to this. Make sure you watch The Worst Witch if you haven't already. It is entirely free to watch on YouTube. It is day 22 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is The Midnight Hour. This is a Halloween TV horror movie that is so wonderfully 80s. I mean, not only does this have young LeVar Burton in it, but he also turns into a zombie. It's fucking awesome. Just oozes spooky atmosphere with creepy cemeteries, Halloween costumes, and fall leaves everywhere. And there's technically time travel in the movie. I'm not even gonna talk about that. So yeah, check out The Midnight Hour if you haven't already. It is entirely free to watch on YouTube. It is day 23 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is Ginger Snaps. Who doesn't love a weird girl movie? Who doesn't love a werewolf story? Who doesn't love a movie that takes place around Halloween? Ginger Snaps is perfect. It's got great representation and coming of age themes talking about puberty, menstruation, and sex. It captures what actual teenage girls act like more than most movies, while also being a bloody monster story and legitimately funny. So yeah, check out Ginger Snaps if you haven't already. I found out you can watch the whole thing free on YouTube. It is day 24 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is Tim Burton's Hansel and Gretel. Yeah, Tim Burton directed a Hansel and Gretel adaptation for Disney Channel all the way back in 1983. And this thing is such a hidden gem, talking about it I feel like defeats the purpose. I just think you should go check it out. It is weird, awesome, creepy, and everything that's great about Tim Burton. It is entirely free to watch on YouTube in all of its fuzzy VHS glory. It is day 25 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is Hexen. It's a movie about witches and the occult told in the most weird and creepy way possible, and it's also 100 years old, which makes it extra fun to watch because it was like they were still experimenting with filmmaking, like it's part a horror movie but also a documentary. There's so many sets and visual effects and monsters and costumes, it's breathtaking. These old movies just have the perfect atmosphere for Halloween season in my opinion. There are also two versions of the movie. There's Hexen from 1922 and Witchcraft Through the Ages from 1968, which adds a voiceover and new music. I highly recommend it. You can watch both versions for free on YouTube. Or pick up the Criterion Blu-ray like me, which has both versions on it. The witches are out. My kitty showed up. The witches are out. It is day 26 on my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is The Trouble with Miss Switch. It's hard to describe the plot of this one because it's kind of like a fever dream, but some kids find out that their teacher is a witch, and then they find out that there's good witches, bad witches, and computer witches. It's got a really cozy, nostalgic art style that's perfect for the Halloween season. It reminds me of Hanna-Barbera and old Scooby-Doo. And back when Halloween TV specials got sequels, this one got one called Miss Switch to the Rescue. If you want to check out The Trouble with Miss Switch and its sequel, both are available on YouTube for free. It is day 27 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is Dark Night of the Scarecrow. This is an amazingly well done made-for-TV slasher from the 80s. It's like a campfire story or spooky town legend that's perfectly brought to life. We also get a sackhead killer here that reminds me of Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2. My favorite Jason, by the way. It gets dark and really moody, and match that with the fall atmosphere, and it's perfect for this time of year. Please check out Dark Night of the Scarecrow. I highly recommend it. You can watch the entire movie for free on YouTube. It is day 28 of my 31 Days of Halloween movie list, and today is Winnie the Pooh Boo to You Too. If you're looking for cozy Halloween vibes, this has the perfect atmosphere, filled to the brim with pumpkin patches and trick-or-treating. Winnie the Pooh is dressed up as a bee, Tigger is dressed up as a skeleton, Eeyore is dressed up as a mummy, and Piglet is dressed up as nothing because he's scared as shit of Halloween. Also, Tigger gets a musical number that's pure fever dream, psychedelic, somebody spiked the Halloween punch bowl insanity. So yeah, check out Winnie the Pooh Boo to You Too if you haven't already. You can watch the entire thing for free on YouTube. Doing a Coraline cosplay. I've got my black kitty, now all I need is trauma. It is day 29 of my 31 days of Halloween movie list, and today is Coraline. Coraline might be the biggest cult classic of my generation, a movie that did okay initially, but has only continued to gain more and more fans throughout time. I love when kids' movies aren't afraid to go to dark places, it actually feels like they have stakes. And for as dreamy and surreal and psychological as it gets, it's just as amazing as an adult. And 15 years later, it's probably still the most beautiful stop-motion animation I've ever seen, with its rich colors and environments that look lived in. If you have not seen the 4K restoration of this in theaters or on disc, you are missing out. But you can watch it right now for free on Tubi. It'll just be 720p. It is day 30 of my 31 days of Halloween movie list, and today is SpongeBob SquarePants: The Legend of Bikini Bottom. I kinda love the SpongeBob stop-motion specials. I own the Christmas one on Blu-ray as well, because even though it's not as funny as old SpongeBob, it's still got gorgeous animation and great holiday vibes. Also, every year my boyfriend and I watch the Season 1 Halloween special with Scaredy Pants and I Was a Teenage Gary on it. Hell, even just this year in 2024, they had another SpongeBob Halloween special called Creepaway Camp. So yeah, let me know if you have a personal favorite SpongeBob Halloween special, and if you want to watch any of these, they're all available on Paramount Plus. It is day 31 of my 31 days of Halloween movie list, and today is John Carpenter's Halloween. It is the quintessential fall horror movie in my eyes, while also being the birthplace of the American slasher genre. Sure, there was Black Christmas, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Italian Giallos, and even Psycho, but this is really where the slasher genre makes its mark on film history. Sean Cunningham, the director and producer of the first Friday the 13th movie, said they were just trying to rip Halloween off. There's so many good fun facts about this movie, like they filmed the movie in the spring, so they didn't have any fall leaves, so they just had one bag of leaves that they throw on the ground and then have to rake up before they film the next scene. Music fun fact, the Halloween theme, the is in 5/4 time signature, while most Western songs are in 4/4, so you have to count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rather than most songs being like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's also an extended broadcast cut where they went back and filmed additional scenes for when it was aired on TV for the first time. You can watch the original cut on these 3 free streaming apps, you can watch the extended cut on YouTube, or you could pick up the 4K Blu-ray and it has both cuts on it as well.